Oh, here we go. Oh, what? Yo, that's actually like the coolest level up in... I gotta see this again. Hey guys, as you can see, Nami just got revealed. I'm going to be reacting to her first and reviewing some of her cards. And then afterwards, you're going to see me react and review SION's cards. The timestamps for that will be in the description below. But I don't want to wait any longer, and let's see what Nami is all about.
I decide what the tide will bring. I won't let my home be
Yeah, Fish goes to Fish region. I actually called this like a year ago, where people were asking about some of the champions that would go to Bilgewater. I said Nami might actually be one of them because he is a fish. And in some of the custom cards, the very first custom card I made for the Discord was actually a Nami card. And my intent with that card was to make a spell-based card that synergized with Fizz. If I'm seeing this right, she has a tune, and she is a fish. She will probably have some synergy with spells. I'm already reading the first line. When you cast a spell, grant +1/+0 to the weakest other ally that isn't immobile. Okay, so you can't buff up your monkey idol. Sad. And to level up, you've gained 6+ spell mana. So she is a champion that synergizes with spells. So Nami Fizz seems like this is the Yordle champion or the Yordle pairing that we get for Bilgewater. This honestly looks pretty strong. Let's continue watching before I review all these cards one by one.
My people are counting on me.
There's a prank. So you have to bank spell mana to level her. Interesting.
For the tribe!
I'll make corpses of them all.
Not if you drown first, brute.
Okay.
Rise with the surf.
I could not see what that did. Okay, targets 2 enemies.
Rolling tides. Heed my call.
Okay, cool animation. Oh, deal 2 to 4 different randomly targeted enemies and create a colossal wave in your deck. This is not main deckable, so I guess this is what you get after playing that first wave thing. Okay. So it's something you shuffle in your deck and then they get stronger, I'm assuming, because it said something about a colossal wave.
I am the tide caller. I will drive back the darkness.
Oh, damn, that's a good level up. Alright, 3 mana, 3/4. When you cast a spell, grant +2/+1 to the weakest other ally that isn't immobile. This seems pretty insane with Fizz already, actually. You play Nami, you cast a spell, Fizz gets +2/+1, and you smacks face for a ton of damage every turn. So you really want to have spells that have like with Ionia, where, for example, Sonic Wave gives you 2 spells instead of 1. Return, Retreat. Okay, that's pretty strong, honestly. Oh yeah, Fizz.
We cover Moonstone. I'm counting on you, Admiral.
Sound like the Maweens. Maweens, to me. The 2/1 with a tune from Bilgewater. Deal 4 to all enemies. Was that burst speed? Wait a second. Deal 4 to all enemies, burst speed?
Tide's coming in.
Who's on top of the bounty board today?
Let the tide carry you.
Okay. Yeah, this seems like some degenerate, elusive stuff with Nami. A heal in Bilgewater? What is going on this expansion?
Embrace the current or be swept away.
Wait, what? Bilgewater is just all over the place now. Actual healing in Bilgewater. Interesting.
Move aside, small fry.
Alright, I can't wait to play Victor Nami. So many created cards. Get a free spell with the Hex Core every turn. Seems good. Wow, okay, that's super unique. I'm surprised that Nami is coming to this expansion and not something like Graves or Ilaoi. But this is so unique again. Like, everything in this expansion is just so new. I'm getting super Rising Tides vibes, where everything is just going into a completely new direction that you would not expect. Noxus with a mid-range discard, which, by the way, you can see at the end of the video. Now Nami with like a full spell-based deck. Wow. Alright, let's look at the cards one by one, and I'll share my opinion on them. Okay, so the very first card we have here is Nami. When you cast a spell, grant +1/+0 to the weakest other ally that isn't immobile. So I'm glad that it has this last line, because in a region like Bilgewater, you have kegs, you have monkey idols, and they don't want Nami to be buffing those type of useless things. I think this is a very, very strong effect. What's interesting is that Nami levels when you've gained 7+ spell mana, which actually makes it so that you don't want to cast spells too often so you can bank it. You need to be buffing a quick attack unit or an elusive unit to really make use of this +1/+0. And it could take a few turns until you can really get this engine going. You want to bank spell mana and then go completely off with multiple buffs, multiple attunes, multiple ways to refill your spell mana most likely. And then suddenly it's a really scary effect. And then when Nami levels up, instead she gets +2/+1 instead of just +1. That's also just so scary because a big issue with elusive decks has been that they're all really low health. Your opponent casts an avalanche, your entire board's gone. Fizz has been super vulnerable to AoE, especially cards like Ice Shard, cards like Avalanche. But with Nami, if your opponent puts Avalanche or Ice Shard on the stack, you just cast a spell and you buff the Fizz. It only takes 2 spells for Fizz to be out of range for those kind of AoE effects. It really seems like Nami is the pairing that Fizz really wants. Fizz has been really weird in Runeterra because he's basically been paired champions or cards that just have a lot of spells, so you can give him elusive and then he just do chip damage. With Nami, you can actually go all in on Fizz and grow him as big as possible. And I think that's a very exciting direction. My problem with Yordles, most of all Teemo, Fizz, and Heimerdinger, is that their support cards have just been kind of lame. Because they're not really support, they don't really enable the champion. It's just like they have an effect, and then once you've done X, like with Heimerdinger, it's casting spells, any spells, and then suddenly Heimer levels, gives you turrets, but it doesn't really feel like a Heimer deck, in my opinion. It's like you're just summoning units every turn. It's the same with Teemo. Teemo is like you flip him, and then you double the shrooms in the opponent's deck, but you really need Teemo to hit, or you need your Profka Peddler to go off. Now we have actual payoff for shrooms, like Ava Achiever, even the Karina card that activate all traps in the top 10 cards of the enemy deck. And there's much more going on, there's much more synergies. And Nami seems to be giving that to Fizz as well, where it actually matters if you go all in on Fizz, instead of just having that chip damage. So while I'm not a Nami player in League, I still think it's super cool that Build Sweater gets another super unique archetype, but this one seems much more open-ended. Almost all the cards that have been revealed so far seem much more open-ended. It's not like Lurk or Tahm Kench Soraka or a landmark deck with Talia and Malphite. Nami is going to go, just like Poppy, in like decks with very small units that want to do chip damage a lot of the time and then grow some units really big, whether they are elusive or whether they have Overwhelm or whether it's just a really wide board that you're slowly buffing one by one to get a little more damage to survive AoE. Super cool. I'm happy with Nami. Nami's app is her champion spell. Deal 2 randomly to an enemy or the enemy nexus and create flow in hand at fast speed. So deal 2 randomly to an enemy. This is like Make It Rain, but it's just you hit one target. This seems pretty bad, but you do get a flow in your hand. So let's see what that does. Flow is heal an ally or your nexus 2 and create an app and flow in hand. So here's the healing for Buildswater, but first you need to cast flow or app. Yeah, first you need to cast app to get the flow in your hand. You can't just put healing in your deck. You actually need to do 2 damage first. So it's already a 4 mana investment for healing 2. And then you get app and flow in hand. Deal 2 randomly to an enemy or the enemy nexus and heal an ally or your nexus 2. So then you get both effects in one. That's 6 mana and they're all fleeting, so you have to cast them in the same turn. This is a lot of spells for Nami though. I don't think this is good enough. As a champion spell, I don't think it's bad because you get that synergy with Nami where you can keep buffing your allies. But main decking this, I don't know if that's good enough. For 6 mana, you're dealing 2 damage twice and you're healing your nexus for 4. Healing for 4 is not bad though, especially against aggro. I don't think this is main deckable, but it's a good spell. Also, no, I don't think this is going to make Tahm Kench more flexible. I really don't think having to invest 6 mana to heal him for 4 HP total is good enough at all. It is interesting though that Tahm Kench does have spells that he gives you every turn, so that's like kind of a way to keep buffing something, but still, probably not good enough. Abyssal Guard, 4 mana 2/4, fearsome. When you cast a spell, give me +2/+0 this round. This is a lot like the Coastal Defender from Ionia, where it's a 2/6 that gets +2 attack every time you summon an ally. Except this one has an actual keyword, and I guess it requires a little less setup, but the stats are worse, because casting burst spells could grow this to something like, you know, 8 attack out of nowhere, especially in a region like Buildswater. That's kind of scary. But all in all, this is a pretty terrible card. I don't see the synergy with this. Maybe if it had Overwhelm, but even then, probably just too slow. Avatar of the Tides. 6 mana 4/5. If you would get a mana gem, instead refill your spell mana. When you cast a spell, create a hand of random spell that costs 3 or less and give it fleeting. You no longer gain mana, but you refill your spell mana every turn. And when you cast a spell, you get another spell that's fleeting. So this is like the Zevi for Bilgewater, kind of. I feel like as just a 4/5 with an effect, this is not really playable. This card should have at least had something like Attune or Elusive to make it playable. This is pretty cute as backup for Nami to keep casting spells, but I really don't think this is good enough at all. For 6 mana, you're never gonna get this off. Also, not getting any more mana gems could just feel super bad, especially if you have no way to empty your spell mana. Even though that's unlikely, because you'd only need one spell and then you get one that costs 3 or less. For that reason, it's actually not that bad because you do have a way to consistently empty your spell mana. But I don't even think you play this as a one-off with the decks we have right now. Nami does seem to want pretty cheap elusives to buff, and this is just way too expensive. I'm not a believer in this card, even though it's a very cool and unique effect. Fleet Admiral Shelly, elusive and attune. For every 2 spells you play in a round, grant other allies +1/+1. So Shelly is the 2/1 with attune from Bilgewater, and she has the cutest voice lines ever. So I'm pretty excited for this card to come back, or this character to come back, I guess. This is also just a really scary effect, actually. Grant other allies +1/+1. So the entire board gets +1/+1 if you cast a spell. Or if you cast 2 spells. That's something that gets out of hand extremely fast. Like, this brings me back to decks like Twisted Fate Fizz. Remember that? How many spells they could cast in a single turn and how wide they could go with Burblefishes? Burblefishes is probably that's most likely gonna make a comeback here. So, good thing that got nerfed beforehand. Yeah, I can see this being included in a deck very easily. A Nami Fizz deck with Burblefishes and a bunch of spells. I think that's gonna be a pretty competitive deck. Just keep buffing your small units and they're all elusive. This is kind of scary. Yeah, I'm a believer. Fizz Nami seems like the truth. It's gonna be a good deck. 2 mana 3/2. Marai Songstress. When I'm summoned, if you cast a spell this round, grant me elusive. That's not okay. A 3/2 elusive? Are you kidding me? This card is extremely powerful. In a deck with Fizz and Nami, it's going to be so easy to cast a spell. And then having a 3/2 with elusive? Wow. I'm hoping Demacia gets some powerful tools so they have a reason to be in the meta, because we need Sharpsight right now. This is ridiculous. Okay, this just confirms it. We're gonna go back to one degenerate elusive deck for sure. 2 mana 2/1. Marai Warden. When I'm summoned, summon a random 1-cost follower. What? So this is like a better petty officer? This card is not just good in Fizz Nami decks, if it even goes there. This is going to be strong in every Bilgewater deck going forward. Bilgewater just got a House Spider. That's a big deal. This card is super good. So Bilgewater does actually have the curve where they can summon a 1-drop at every mana slot until 4. Turn 1, you play an actual 1-drop. Turn 2, you play the Marai Warden. Turn 3, you play Petty Officer. Turn 4, Island Navigator. You're playing on-curve minions, and you get a 1-cost follower for it every time. And then you play the Reaver's Row. Okay, this card is just nuts. This card is a staple going forward. I would give this 5 stars. 5 out of 5. Marai Great Mother, 4 mana 3/3. When I'm summoned, create 5 random 6-cost spellings in your deck and lower their cost to 3. So once again, this reminds me of a deck like Twisted Fate Fizz that would cycle through their deck so extremely fast. And this seems like it could have a home there. These are not from your regions. These are any 6+ cost spells. And then lowering that cost to 3, you can get a Sky's Descent from this and it will cost 3 mana. I actually do believe in cards like this being pretty viable when you can cycle through your deck fast enough. Because I have also played a Twisted Fate Echo deck that was sent to me on stream one day. You actually have a way to like fish these very powerful cards out of your deck. And Marai Great Mother would be an exceptionally strong card in that deck. I don't think this is going to see a lot of play, but in certain meme decks, this could be pretty good. It's a powerful effect. Even though this, like I said, is not going to see play at high level, this is definitely a card I'm going to be playing with a lot because it's high roll incarnate. And that's basically what I am as a player. I just want the high rolls. This card can give me that. I really actually like that they're kind of going more in on shuffling powerful stuff in your deck. Because they started doing that with treasures for Bilgewater. And now they're doing it with this. These are not quite treasures. But most 6+ cost spells are pretty powerful. So setting the cost to 3 is just a really big upside. And actually makes this playable. Tidal Wave. 3 mana slow. Deal 1 to 2 different randomly targeted enemies. And create a crashing wave in your deck. Deal 1 to 2 different randomly targeted enemies. So this is like a horrible make it rain. But it's only enemies, so I don't think it can hit Nexus. Okay, this is terrible, but what's Crashing Wave? Deal 2 to 4 different randomly targeted enemies and create a Colossal Wave in your deck. Okay, that's a bit better, but you have to get this out of your deck first, and then it's Colossal Wave, which is deal 4 to all enemies and the enemy Nexus. So this is Go Hard. Wait, if you play a Go Hard deck, I actually think you would include this card. I wouldn't be surprised, like Go Hard has always been pretty playable, even after the nerfs, and with this card, that deck just gets like a small boost in power. Even a card like Zap Sprayfin will sometimes fish out the Colossal Wave out of your deck. If you have enough draw, which Bilgewater should be pretty good at, these are very powerful effects. And that includes the Marai Great Mother that we've just seen. I really like what Bilgewater's doing here. Going really all in on that cycling. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for these cards. I really like this direction. It's once again, it's super unique. It's not something Bilgewater has been doing before. It's hard to see how a deck like that will play out because everything is so new, but I'm very excited to find out in about 3 days from now. Also, I just want to mention Reverse Road decks also got a pretty big buff this expansion, and I'm pretty hyped for it. Fizz, Nami, Bilgewater Bandle City with pranks, looking pretty hot. This is one of the decks that I'm going to be trying first. It's super exciting. And with that, I'm now going to play the clip where I react to SION on stream. So I was kind of interacting with chat, but I did give my honest first impression and my first look at the cards and what I thought of them. Hope you enjoyed that as much as you enjoyed my take on Nami, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, so I have no idea what he does. I'm hyped. Here we go. You guys already know what he does, so it's going to be scuff, but here we go.
I hunger for battle. I feel the blood course.
When I'm discarded, grant your strongest ally Overwhelm and place me into your deck. I have +1/+0 for each card you've discarded this game, and he's a 7 mana 3/6. You've discarded or summoned 35 plus power. Wait, what? So he's discard support, but he's 7 mana. Also, discard decks kind of have like, they go wide. They don't really have super high power units, and when they do, it's like crowd favorite, which already has Overwhelm. Okay, I like where this is going though. Okay, so that gets Overwhelm. That's pretty good. That's pretty strong actually, even on a 4-attack unit. Alright, I like the way these cards look, by the way. They're like all zombies. Okay, this guy gets summoned when you discard. Okay, I like this so far. This is pretty damn cool. 5 mana 5/5 Overwhelm. When I'm discarded, grant your strongest ally +2/+0. Wait, this is kind of insane. And this is already a 5 mana 5/5 with Overwhelm. Wait, this is a really good card, right? Okay. I love this. This does seem to be like discard mid-range.
I wear the crown and bear its burden. Bury them in bones.
Okay, so where's the zombie Scion?
With me, Knights of Demacia.
Does he turn into a zombie when he levels up?
Come out and die.
Radiance, right? Yeah, good card. I want to see him level.
Demacians, fight for your king.
I swear, in every single one of these reveal videos, it's Jarvan and his dad dying. Every single one. It was the same with like the Pike reveal. For some reason, Riot just hates Jarvan and his dad. Alright, Roar of the Slayer. To play, discard a card. Kill the weakest enemy. For 3 mana fast, this seems like a pretty insane card, actually. This seems like a really, really strong card. If this is his champion spell too, Scion is already like gonna be broken.
Rule well, my son.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, what? Yo, that's actually like the coolest level up in... I gotta see this again. The way he yells at the end. The ending is silly? No way. That's awesome. The way he yells war. That's amazing. That's so good. Alright, last breath. Summon Scion returned. Okay, so that's probably the zombie. When I'm discarded, okay, so that's the same. So all he does is like, he has 10 attack, and he has a last breath, summon Scion returned.
Death had its chance. Away with you.
Okay. Scion returned.
Not even death can stop me.
It rallies. Wait. Okay, that's really cool. To play discard me? Wait, what?
Victory is a
Alright, that's awesome.
I will never forget.
That is so cool. Wow. Okay, so people asked me yesterday, what's your favorite reveal so far? This might be the one. Dude, I gotta see that level up again. This is the coolest level up in the game now.
Kings, gods, I'll butcher them all.
I don't know what it is. It's like the bass you can hear in the back when he yells war. Oh my god, this is cool. When I'm discarded, grant your strongest ally Overwhelm and place me into your deck. Honestly, a really powerful effect, but this won't be played in the discard aggro that we've been saying before. I honestly think Scion will still be played with Draven right now and not with Jinx. I think Jinx is the finisher, but now it seems like Scion can be the finisher. But the synergy with Draven feels really good here. It's definitely Draven. Draven has to be better with Scion. Because, like... Okay, we have to look at the other cards, because I don't know if Scion is still going to be emptying his hand. It kind of looked like he was putting some stuff back into his hand when you discard it. It seems like Scion Draven, but so far, every new champion has kind of been pairing with a Yordle. Like, we had Caitlyn and Teemo, kind of. Senna seemed to go with Viger, so maybe Scion gets, like, a Yordle partner too. What I think is hilarious is Scion and the Aloof Travelers, because Aloof Travelers will very often make you discard Scion, and then he just goes back into the deck, and, you know, you still get the strongest ally with Overwhelm. That's actually, like, hilarious as a counter. Arena Buki seems good too. Especially with that 1 mana thing that it said, like, when I'm discarded, summon me or something. Alright, so I like it. This is fantastic. This is a fantastic reveal. This is the coolest one so far. Okay, Last Breath, summon Scion return. So this is just like when he levels after summoning or discarding 35 plus power, you get this, and all it is like a Vi. It's like he just goes to 10 attack standard, but that makes sense because in his previous form, it's like you get +1 for every discard. So he will likely already be at 10, and then he's just a huge body with Overwhelm. This is like a good stat line, but he is 7 mana. The only thing that, like, he is a finisher. When you drop Scion, you want to be finishing the game. 10 Overwhelm attack, and then rallying when this dies. In Noxus, I think the only good way to kill your own ally is Fervor. There's no good way to kill Scion except the Fervor. So you can't really kill your own Scion. You have to, like, hope he dies in combat so you can attack again, right? With this, it's just Overwhelm Ephemeral when I'm summoned red. I like this Ephemeral. So there is the zombie. Yeah, I think Viego actually does seem pretty good. Because if you discard Scion, you can give your highest attack unit Overwhelm. And Viego is often pretty big. Missed Call, yeah. Make him Ephemeral with Harrowing. Harrowing is not bad either. Yeah, okay, so obviously because there is a Last Breath effect and he is strong when he dies, there is going to be some Shadow Owl stuff, but I think you might just want to play this as discard mid-range, and I don't know how good Shadow Owl is with that. They don't really provide a lot of trash in your hand that you can discard, so hard to say. Alright, so it is his champion spell. Okay, so to play discard a card, kill the weakest enemy. This is super strong. This is going to be a lot stronger in certain metas, because right now we kind of have that, like, go wide kind of meta, where it's play a lot of Elusives with Lulu, you even go wide with, like, some Sivir decks, and then this is not that good. Does this go through Spell Shield, by the way? By Azir. Oh, killing Azir with it is fantastic. Yeah, I like this card. I think this card is going to be very strong. Ezreal Draven will love this card too. It shouldn't go through Spell Shield. Yeah, I guess not. By Zillion. Oh no. It shouldn't go through Spell Shield. Okay. Still pretty strong. Yeah, it goes through. Yeah, I thought it goes through Spell Shield because it doesn't target, but I don't know. It does go through Spell. Then yeah, that's pretty good. Because Sivir decks actually, like, unless they have like a Young Witch that you can't remove, they do like to summon like a rather big unit 1x1. If this kills a Sivir, you're gonna win the game. All right, here we go. So this is the other one. When I'm discarded, grant your strongest ally +2/+0. This is a very, like, skill testing card, I think, because you are not going to be unhappy playing a 5-mana 5/5 with Overwhelm. That seems to just be very strong in Noxus, especially if you can put like 1 or 2 protection spells on this card. I'm pretty sure if Freljord, Shurima, Overwhelm actually had access to this card, they would love to play it, even without that text on it, you know? A 5/5 Overwhelm. This is like one more than an Ancient Yeti. Gangplank, but yeah, it's like, it's literally Gangplank, but, you know, you might as well remove this text because a 5/5 with Overwhelm is just good. But the skill testing comes when you want to figure out, do I need to play this card on turn 5 for like a lot of pressure? Or should I overwhelm it now to grant my strongest ally +2 damage and potentially push more damage? Since Scion decks seem to have access to overwhelm, it might very often not be bad at all to give +2 attack on an overwhelm unit. This just seems super strong. This is definitely going to see play in Scion decks. I love this. Look at how clean this text is. That's all it says. When I'm summoned, rally. This is beautiful. This is exactly what you'd expect from Scion if you know how he plays in League. And I love that. Scion needs to be this zombie mode. Alright, Fallen Reckoner, 5 mana 4/3. When I'm summoned, grant can't block to the weakest enemy. Last breath, create a Risen Reckoner in hand. Okay, so let's talk about that first part first. Grant can't block to the weakest enemy. This will be a lot better if it said grant can't block to the strongest enemy. Because the weakest enemy, when you're playing... This is already like the third card with Overwhelm. The weakest enemy is usually the one that you want to have block your Overwhelm cards. For 5 mana, this doesn't seem super good. It is a grant effect though. Okay, that's it. It's a grant effect. Huh. No, I think 5 mana is just too much for an effect like this. Okay, well, it depends on what the Risen Reckoner is. Risen Reckoner. 3 mana. 6/3 with Overwhelm. Ephemeral. So here's a zombie. When I'm summoned, grant can't block to the weakest enemy. It creates it. So this gets created in hand. Okay. This actually seems super strong because this is also discard fodder. I mean, a 3 mana 6/3 with Overwhelm, you probably don't want to discard that. So for 8 mana in total, you get a 4/3 that grants weakest can't block to the weakest twice. Chronicler of Ruin. That's also a 4 mana play. I don't think this deck can afford to make slow plays like that. It really seems to be pushing damage every turn. It's like a very aggressive mid-range deck. I really like that they put this effect in the game though. Granting something can't block. That's really great. I think the meta is too fast for this now. Yeah. But in the future, this is like a lot of value. It doesn't specifically say grant can't block to someone who doesn't have it though. That's true, but the game has been like that, where you also can't give vulnerable to something that already has it. So I'm gonna assume that if the opponent has a monkey idol, it will just go to the next weakest thing. Alright, this is cool. It's a very cool card. But I don't think it's playable because it's simply slightly too slow. Fallen Rider. When I'm discarded, create a Risen Rider in hand. 2 mana 3/1. There's so many things that get added to the hand. This feels super strange for a discard deck. Because with discard decks, usually you have to like put discard fodder in your deck. You seem to be getting that discard fodder with this deck. Or with this archetype. And the Ritter... A 2 mana 4/2 with Fearsome. Oh, but this has to be discarded. Okay. Wait, that's insane though, right? You discard this card... And then you get a 2 mana 4/2 with Fearsome. Ooh, you know what this reminds me of? This is like a Cursed Keeper. Almost as good as Mercer's Hunter. Speaking of which, Scion is not a gift for Renekton. Scion is the first champion in Bandle City that is not a gift for Renekton. Alright, Renekton is crying somewhere. So this is good. This seems pretty good. Discard this, get a 2 mana 4/2. Yeah, like imagine discarding this on turn 1 with the Zonite Urchin. And then you get a 2 mana 4/2 with Fearsome on turn 2. That's ridiculous. Yeah, no, this is good. This is pretty good. You definitely run this in Scion decks. It's also, like, you discard something with 3 power, and then you summon something with 4 power. That's 7 for Scion. That just seems insane. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. This is way too good. Lost Soul. When I'm summoned or discarded, create a Twin Blade Revenant in hand. An 8 mana 5/4. Alright, this Twin Blade Revenant has to be real good. Okay, Twin Blade Revenant. Challenger. Last breath, create a Lost Soul in hand. Wait, this one is not main deckable, but this one is. Okay, you're never playing an 8 mana 5/4, so you have to discard this, and then you get this card. Wait, so this is like a cycle, but this one has to die. When this one dies, you can have like kind of an infinite card discard cycle. Infinite fodder? Yeah, pretty much. So the Lost Soul is like the infinite discard fodder, right? That's really cool, but that means you have to keep playing this Twin Blade Revenant. You have to keep playing a 4 mana 4/3 with... It has Challenger, so you can kill it off yourself. No, that's really strong. I think you would play this as a 1 or 2 off. Yep. And then you... Like, sometimes in some games, you just never run out of value. You will always have a unit to play, and that's pretty damn strong. Also, you can't summon both in the same turn if this is the only card in your hand. Unless you have Glorious Evolution active. And maybe that matters sometimes, you know? Probably not, though, but you know. Yeah, you just want to keep discarding this and having this card die. I like that it has Challenger a lot. The Challenger is very important, so you can actually choose to kill it. Like, let's say, turn 4, you discard this card with a Poro Cannon, then you summon the Twin Blade Revenant, you kill it off with the Challenger, and then you instantly get another Lost Soul in your hand, and then you have more discard fodder. That's really strong. You basically lose no card advantage or card temp hand advantage? Whatever. Your hand size doesn't go down with that. It might be too slow, but I think it's a super cool concept. Noble Rebel. 3 mana, 3/2. Overwhelm. Grant me +2/+1 once you've discarded 3+ cards this game. On turn 3, you would want to have this active. It's not really doable. 3 mana, 5/3 with Overwhelm. Worst Ballistic? Oh, you mean Ballista. Yeah. The 4/3. It really depends on whether or not you can act. You would have to activate this on turn 3 to make it playable, and I don't really know if it is. I don't think this is playable necessarily. I think SION right now wants to be kind of a mid-range deck. This pushes it way too much in the just send all phase direction, and I think you can actually play for discard value. Yeah, you need Zonet, Rimage, Noble Rebel, but that's just not that good. That's not, like, an insanely good turn or anything. Basically, like, I don't think you want to do nothing on turn 2 with this deck. Draven. If Draven is played in this deck, you never want to play this over Draven. Like, Draven is infinitely better than this. Yeah, I don't really like this one. It get +2/+1 while in play. Yeah, that's the one redeeming thing about it, but I still don't think it's good enough. I think there's better things you can do at turn 3. Yeah. I could be wrong. Reborn Grenadier. This is the 2 mana 3/2 with Death Rattle. Deal 1 to the enemy nexus. He is also a 3/2. To play, discard a card. When I'm discarded, summon an exact copy of me. Wait, so this is something to discard with, and it's discard fodder? This card is really good. Wait, now you can do... Okay, so remember how you could do 4 damage turn 1 with the Dunekeeper? Now you can do 5 damage turn 1 with Zonet Urchin onto this. Burst speed summon. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that too. With a Rummage or something, or with a Poro Cannon. Yeah, you can... This is insanely good. This is incredibly broken, actually. The fact you can summon... You're not... Like, the thing with Risen Mist is that it had a burst speed summon for Mist-Wraith decks. But those decks were just not that good. But that was like a very powerful thing you could do with that deck. Discard seems to be much more generally good. And I don't even think this is going to be tied to SION decks. And if that's true, and this sees plays outside of SION decks, like maybe in Draven decks, the fact you will always have access to a burst summon is going to save you in so many scenarios, and it's going to push lethal for you in even more scenarios. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Reborn Grenadier into Reborn Grenadier, 6 damage turn 1. Yeah, see? That's pretty good. It's an issue that it has Ephemeral, though. So I'm not really sure if you want to just, like, you know, empty your hand for 6 damage turn 1 and then do nothing. But that is pretty strong. Like, imagine having 3 of these. You play 1 to discard another Reborn Grenadier, and then you have a Poro Cannon to discard another. That's 9 damage turn 1. Then you just need to draw like 3 Decimates and you have lethal. Yeah, this card seems insane. This is going to see play in a lot of decks. Salt and Stitches. 2 mana focus. To play, discard a card, summon a Reborn Grenadier, and give it +2/+0 this round. Imagine discarding the Reborn Grenadier with this card. You just get a 3/2 and a 5/2 for 2 mana focus speed. Wait, this is actually crazy though. If you attack on turn 1, on turn 2, and your opponent didn't play anything turn 1, you could straight up push 8 damage. We heard the game is too slow. Not anymore. Okay, yeah, if this was burst speed, it would be the best card in the game. So I get why it's focus. I think this is above average, but I don't think it's super broken. You can do some crazy stuff with it, like 8 damage turn 2. But that's probably the best thing you can do with this card. Focus speed is kind of holding it down. If this was burst, yeah, I'd have something to say about it. Focus is fine, I think. Yeah, this does enable a lot of stuff. Once again, I think that SION is going to be more mid-rangey, and I think a mid-range deck doesn't want to play Vision. But this seems like a card that could be played in Jinx Draven. Because right now, it seems that there's going to be mid-range discard with SION, which is more about big units and high stats. You know, not necessarily going wide, but just having pretty big units attacking you and going over the top. Draven Jinx seems to be want to go wide, and this card is pretty insane. A lot better in Jinx Draven, not necessarily for SION. It can't be cast in combat or in response to spells, yeah, but discard aggro never really cared about that much. If you're attacking on turn 4, turn 3 with Draven Jinx and you use this on a Vision, we already have some units on the board. Like, they go wide really fast, and then this is just insane when you use it on a Vision or something. I think this is crazy good. For Jinx Draven, it's probably not playable in SION decks. Alright, there he is. 2 mana 2/2, Grave Physician. Play, discard a card to draw a unit. This is so good too. I love the art for this too. I love this whole theme with the zombies. That's just so cool. Noxus is just like the, you know, they've always been like whatever means necessary to win a battle. And now they're gonna go with the, like, just revive the dead to have more people or more soldiers to go to battle, go to war. I love this theme for Noxus. When you look at Runeterra from like a surface level, you see all the regions. There's like 2 that stand out as being like the basic regions for like, you know, okay, every fantasy setting needs these. That's Noxus and Demacia. They're like with the army, you know, the kingdom kind of. Demacia good, Noxus bad, when in theory it's a lot more gray than that. And then the fact that Demacia is so boring and Noxus gets all these cool thematics with like LeBlanc and like that whole underworld and mimics and stuff that he's doing, and then we get the undead. We have like Vladimir with the hemomancers and stuff. This is just so cool. I'm becoming a big fan of Noxus with these themes they're pushing for all these cards. Also, this card is really strong. The reason I like Demacia is because they have dragons. Yeah, that's one edge they have over Noxus, actually, dragons. All right, cool. Yeah, I like this. Very cool card. Also very good. Definitely going to be playable in SION deck. 8 mana. Slow speed, Weapons of the Lost. Deal 3 to a unit and summon a Trifarian Shieldbreaker. What the hell is a Shieldbreaker? Is that the 6/5? 6/5 Fearsome? I think it is, right? Yeah, it is. Trifarian. Alright, this is pretty bad. Good with Senna. I don't even think I would play this with Senna. If this was like 7 mana, I think it would be good. It's pretty fair stats, actually. Yeah, to be fair, it's not bad, because you're paying 8 mana. 6 mana of that is the unit, and 2 mana of that is dealing 3 to a unit. Okay, it's not completely unplayable, but it's still pretty bad. Oh, it's unit 5 mana? Oh, okay. No, then it's, you know, then it's pretty overcosted. I'd rather just have to get excited. Yeah, me too. No, this doesn't seem very good. I'm not a fan. This will, unless there is a combo with this, unless there's like, you know, if there's something that turns slow into fast, like Senna, even though I don't think you want to run this in Senna decks. But if there is a way to combo this somehow, it might be good, but I don't think it is.